Before my first lucid dream, I kept wondering if lucid dreams were even real. Yeah, I'd heard people talk about them, flying through the sky, exploring wild dream worlds. It sounded incredible. Too incredible. If I could just be sure, I figured I'd be much more confident it could happen to me too. Turns out, scientists have asked the same thing for decades. Are lucid dreams real? Thanks to some creative experiments, we now have an answer. But it wasn't always like this. For a long time, scientists thought the whole idea was some outrageous, impossible paradox. How could you be awake and dreaming at the same time? But not everyone was put off. One of the first researchers to take lucid dreaming seriously was the British psychologist Dr. Keith Hearne. He came up with a pretty clever way to prove lucid dreaming was real, and it all came down to eye movements. Because here's the thing with REM sleep, the stage where dreams happen. Your body's basically frozen so that you don't act out all the crazy stuff you're dreaming about. That's why you can't just sit up in bed and say, "Hey guys, I'm lucid dreaming right now." So if you're frozen in bed, how can you let someone know you're lucid without waking yourself up? Well, here's one part of your body that REM sleep doesn't freeze: your eyes. Your eyes can still move around, unaffected by the paralysis. Dr. Hearne realized he could use this to his advantage. He teamed up with a lucid dreamer named Alan Worsley and hooked him up to a bunch of machines in a sleep lab to track his brain activity and eye movements. Before Worsley fell asleep, they made a plan. If Worsley became lucid, he would move his eyes left to right in a specific pattern, kinda like a secret code. Since eye movements in REM sleep match eye movements within the dream itself, this was basically a way to send a message from inside the dream to the outside world. In April 1975, it worked. While Worsley was dreaming away, the machines picked up his eye movements, clear, deliberate, unmistakable, totally different from the usual random eye twitches of REM sleep. For the first time, science had proof someone could become lucid in a dream and even remember to complete a pre-planned task. When I first heard about this, I was blown away. Someone could literally signal to the waking world to say they knew they were dreaming while they were dreaming. Lucid dreams were real. A few years later, over at Stanford, another scientist, Dr. Stephen LaBerge, started doing the same thing, using pre-planned eye signals to prove lucid dreaming in sleep labs. But Dr. LaBerge didn't just stop there. He went further, testing and developing techniques in the lab like wake back to bed and mild, the mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. Finding out there were real, science-backed techniques made me even more confident that lucid dreaming is something that anyone can actually learn. LaBerge's team also got curious. How do lucid dreams compare to waking life? Well, I'll tell you, they found some pretty interesting things. For example, time flows pretty much the same way in lucid dreams as it does in waking life. And when you sing or count numbers in a lucid dream, the same areas of the brain activate as they would if you were awake. It's as if your brain treats lucid dreams like real experiences. Maybe that explains why so many lucid dreamers describe a sense of joy that can last for days after waking up. It's not just in your head. The freedom and creativity experienced in lucid dreams trigger actual emotional and physical responses, just as if the experiences had happened in real life. Since then, scientists around the world have been diving deeper into what's actually happening in the brain during lucid dreams. One especially cool study used EEG machines, brainwave scanners, to compare regular dreams to lucid ones. With the help of lucid dreamers using the eye signal trick, the scientists found that when you become lucid, a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, the area that handles self-awareness and logical thinking, switches back on. Normally, that part of your brain powers down when you're dreaming, which is why you just go along with all the weird stuff that happens in regular dreams. But when you become lucid, it fires up again. Not only was lucid dreaming real, the study showed it was something else, a unique state of consciousness, a mix of dreaming and clear thinking. Like your dreaming mind and waking mind both show up to the same party. Another study combined EEG and this thing called an fMRI scanner to watch what happens in the brain in even more detail as someone becomes lucid. When the dreamer sent those eye signals to show lucidity, the scientists saw the same areas of the brain light up, the parts that handle self-reflection, decision-making, and control, all the stuff that you need to lucid dream. That's just a small taste of the research out there. Thanks to that eye signaling trick, not only do we know lucid dreaming is real, it's actually possible to pinpoint the exact moment of lucidity, allowing scientists to study what happens in the brain during a lucid dream. Things have come a long way. Lucid dreaming used to be dismissed, but now scientists are realizing it could unlock all kinds of insights into mental health, brain science, even the nature of consciousness itself. For me, learning about this totally changed the way I saw lucid dreaming. It wasn't just some rare mystical ability that only a few people had. It was real, it was studied, and it was something I could learn. And once I truly believed that, it made all the difference. And if others have proven it's possible, that means you can do it too. Let me tell you, the instant you have your first lucid dream, any remaining doubt will disappear. It's like a door in your mind opens and you realize you've been holding the key in your hands the whole time. Everything will become so clear. The colors, the sounds, even your thoughts. And since lucid dreaming science is still pretty new, every dreamer adds a piece to the puzzle. When you start lucid dreaming, you're not just exploring your own dream worlds, but actually unlocking even more insight into how minds work. So, write down your dreams in a journal, do some techniques, and start lucid dreaming today. You never know what you might discover. This has been Lucid Dream Forever. Please like and subscribe for more on lucid dreams. See you in the next video.